Good morning. How is everyone doing today? Welcome back. I can't believe we're on week 7. This is crazy that we are still working from home. Um, but yeah, thanks for joining us again. Um, I'm Sarah. I am the founder of Simply. Again, we are here every Tuesday, Thursday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And yeah, we've been doing this for a while now. It's fun. This is kind of my favorite thing of the week to look forward to every Tuesday, Thursday. So today we have one of my favorite people on, and his name is Daniel Musto. And you may recognize him from our social media, our panels, events we've done. He is just such a light in this world. And he is a celeb stylist, TV personality, and just launched his own line. And he's going to tell us all about it. He's coming on right now.
Keep going, keep going, keep going.
There he is. Good morning. Hey, I like the stash.
Thank you. I'm going a little country these days. I have like a mullet growing in because I can't see the back of my head when I give myself haircuts. I have a little stash
Yep,
going.
I love it.
You look gorgeous, though.
Very
You look like it's January all over again. You don't look like the quarantine's making you ugly like the rest of us.
Oh my gosh. Well, I have no extensions in my hair. My husband dyed my hair for me.
Oh, I love
It's
him.
red. I'm going with it.
It's good. And you have a great top on for just what you're doing today, so you look great.
Thanks. How are you doing? Where are
I'm
you? Are you
I'm at the Jersey Shore,
okay?
where my mom lives. I just got to her place yesterday. I've been quarantined for like 6 weeks with Teggy French, you know Teggy. And
Yep.
we've just been like taking over the world, and it's getting a little nice out. So I'm here for a few days to get some bike rides by the beach and stuff.
Nice. It's
Yeah.
probably way more relaxed being at home and you get your friends and your family.
It is. It's nice to be near the people I love. God forbid something happened and I needed to help. Being across the country
Yeah.
would be a little rough. And I was here already. I was supposed to host a coach event in New York, and it was like the day before quarantine happened, and we chose to opt out. And luckily, we found out some people had COVID who were there. So
Good. You did not go
Sarah,
there.
Sarah,
Wow.
I
Okay, well that
survived.
worked out.
No, and I'm so
So
grateful to do this too, to everybody at home watching. Like, this is so special to be here with you and the opportunity to just say hi to everybody again.
yeah, it's a good way to connect when it's really hard to connect. And we're such social people. Like I wanted to do something where I could bring a little bit of light into people's life and get inspired. And
Hmm.
this time down, it's like you need some inspiration, right?
Hello. Yeah, literally, I need some inspiration
Hello.
besides like animal print on Netflix, which has had quite the impact on me.
I love it. Wait, okay, before we get in, who do
Yeah.
you think should play Tiger King when they make a movie about it?
Oh God, I feel like Matthew McConaughey would do a great job, like conforming into him, and I feel like he almost could if they contoured him correctly. I
Yeah.
feel like I feel like he could do it, or even like if we screw up Bradley Cooper's face and give him a spray tan, maybe he could do it, or maybe an unknown.
Well, they're saying what? David Spade, Brad
Okay.
Pitt, or the guy that's married, Dax Shepard.
Ooh, Dax would be really good
I know.
because I feel like Dax kind of is him. Yeah, Dax
Oh,
could be
I love
really
it.
good. And if Brad Pitt wants to, turn into that, round of applause. Let's see what he could do.
Yeah, he's like country boy, right? He could do it.
Yeah, yeah. All these
Um,
country's cool now. It's my favorite.
yes. Wait. Okay. So I was just introducing you, celebrity stylist, TV personality, overall amazing human and light of my life, at least. Tell us about your new collection.
Okay. So for all you stagecoach junkies out there, and even some of you Coachella junkies, I, as a stylist and costume designer, would go to these concerts and dress myself up in rhinestone fringe and embroidery and kind of embody the Billy Ray Cyrus of the past with the little Dolly Parton of the now. And people would literally be like waiting in line. They wouldn't know me from E, they wouldn't know me from reality TV, they wouldn't know me from all those things. They'd just want a photo with me because of what I was wearing to these festivals. And they would say, we want to buy it. So that was a year ago. And we decided this time last year, we're going to come out with a line called Daniel Diamond, which is it's a little bit of this like human inside of me and my business partner, Lonnie Lupton, who, it's like our Sasha Fierce together as this like gay male country star. And
Love.
we came out with a line and we opened up in Ron Herman on Black Friday last year and sold out there, restocked twice. Now we're online. We launched online. Now get this. Did you see the Gwen Stefani thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Tell us how this all happened, because I'm sure a lot of people watching want to know, like, great, I have a clothing line, but how do I get it on a huge celebrity like Gwen Stefani?
Yeah, I feel like, and you know this too, especially when you're building your panels and you want to get the best people on the panel, you sit down with your team and you brainstorm just about who's connected to who, or who owes you a favor, or who do you owe a favor to, or who said, call me if you need anything, or who do you know from home? So I sat down with my business partner, Lonnie, and we just kind of go through all the people we've like hugged and loved over the years and said, we have a great product. These people not only would want it for themselves, but they would, you know, like 1,000% just hand it out to whoever it is. You know, our jackets start at $1,200, so it's a pricey item, but it's worth every penny, and people just, they love it. I'm wearing one now. I'll show you in a second.
Wait, yes, show us.
So, okay, so this is what we're talking about. So we do these rhinestones.
So everyone understands.
See, so we do the embroidery. Fun. It's all hand done in LA on vintage Levi's jackets we find all over the world from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And the embroidery glows in the dark at concerts, so... It's a party on your shoulders. So I literally was like, okay, Gwen Stefani, her makeup artist, Gregory Arl, you have to follow because he's like the king of MAC cosmetics. Barbie just made a Barbie out of him. He's a friend of mine. And I was like, Gregory, do you think Gwen would want a jacket that says Blake on the back? And he's like, can't hurt to try. He's like, I'm going to see her in 36 hours at the Grammys. Do you think you can make it happen by then? So we had our embroiderer in Malibu hustle on it. We embroidered Blake on the back. She got it that next day, apparently fell in love with it, but then it was crickets for about a month and a half. And I was like, you know what? It was a gamble. It's in her closet. I hope she loves it. Maybe one day she'll wear it. And then I got a text the day I got to New Jersey to host that coach event. And my friend was at the Blake Shelton concert and said, I think Gwen is wearing a Daniel Diamond jacket. And I was like, I had already taken a sleeping pill, and I was like trying to fall asleep, and then all of a sudden that happened, and you know, you turn into like PR crazy. You're like, who do I tell? Like, Us Weekly needs to know, Entertainment Tonight needs to know. So I'm like one eye open doing the press release and everything, and it just turned into this crazy thing. And then she tagged us on Instagram.
No.
Which like for me feels like, you know, so many people pay for that placement because they don't really have a jump off point. But I think because of, and you know this, being kind in our business to people over time, you have no idea what it's going to turn into. And I feel like karmically, something amazing like the Daniel Diamond jackets made it to her. And she probably felt that energy and was like, I want to tag these people. You know, she saw that we weren't like a huge
I'm sure
brand.
It was given to her and he was like, I love Daniel. He's my friend. He's the designer, and give the whole backstory, which helps so much.
No, you do. And it's like, you want to add that personality to your line. And you want, like, if someone was to give you a pair of Vans, what would they'd give you the culture on it all. If you've never seen it before, it'd be like, skaters wear it, but so does like Bradley Cooper. So does Justin Timberlake. It's like comfortable, but inexpensive. You give those things that you know about a brand. And if you only know the amazing person behind it, you're going to gush about them, of course.
Yeah,
so that's
crazy. A really good takeaway. Like, what's your story? What's your culture? Who are you as a brand? And always telling people that when you, because you never know who will talk to that next person about your product.
Literally. So when people come up and say, we love your jacket, it doesn't end at thank you. It ends with a hug and pictures and let's follow each other on Instagram and stay in touch. Like, I'll send you a coupon code when we launch. I actually make these little bite-sized business cards to anyone with a brand where you don't want people necessarily emailing you, but you want to make sure that they're following you on Instagram. You can go on like Moo Cards, M-O-O, and make these quick little Instagram cards. So you're not necessarily opening yourself up for communication, but you're allowing people to join your party. You know?
That's awesome. That's a great tip too. And then, okay, so you've got Gwen Stefani. What happens next? Did you like you turn into PR guy and you got it on different
I turn
outlets, or
into
what?
PR
What
guy.
was your next move?
So
Okay.
luckily, my friend Cassie Delora, another amazing person to follow, she's like, she's so us, she's so feel good, and she's also so country like me. She was the one at the Blake show, and she's a host on Entertainment Tonight. So she was like, "Do you have any details about it?" And I said, "You know, we custom embroidered Blake on the back." And she said, "Well, if you can send us a photo of that embroidery and keep it exclusive to us, we'll do a whole write up." So they did a whole write up, and then the Associated Press got it, and then they distributed it across like Yahoo and everywhere. So we just sort of had people between her tagging us and then it being everywhere. The inquiries started pouring in, and then 2 or 3 weeks later, we launched our e-commerce,
Mm-hmm.
danielxdiamond.com. And luckily, we had. I mean, it was unfortunate to have COVID-19 happening while this was all going on, but it also gave us the opportunity to donate 10% of proceeds to Baby to Baby. So like it added that feel good element that we were craving, where we probably just would have picked a random charity and hoped for the best, but we actually are making an impact with what we have coming in. And it's just so fun. It's so fun to have an e-commerce line from home during COVID, because it's all social media and you can have so much fun with it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my next question because, your main job is
Mm-hmm.
being a stylist and TV expert and all of that, I assume is kind of on pause right now. So are you focusing your full day on Daniel Diamond, or what's the day in the life now?
My full day is on Daniel Diamond, the clothing line. And now I've also, I don't know if you saw it, but end of last year, I always had this dream of recording a country single as a gay person who can make these party anthems for people like Luke Bryan or Sam Hunt does, and even like Kane Brown, and this hybrid of
Mm-hmm.
country and pop music, because I was a performer as a kid. I was captain of the dance team and I did all that. So I was like, these country guys are talk singing and I could totally talk sing. So why don't I
Yeah.
come out with a single? So now Daniel Diamond also has music, which is an interesting twist, because you think of Gwen Stefani because she's fresh on our minds. She did music and then she came out with Lamb. Whereas I came out with Daniel Diamond first, and now I'm releasing some music that literally wouldn't have the vibe it has without Daniel Diamond, the clothing existing in the world. And I could see, people send me, we've sold like so many jackets, and people send me videos and pictures of them like before all of this at a line dancing bar, at a concert, or in Vegas going to see Shania. And I'm like, that's a vibe. Like there is a
Yeah.
vibe here when you have some fringe on your back and you are walking through a crowd. So I wanted to bring that with the music too. So we're shooting the video in the countryside in New Jersey, where I'm from, in a few weeks. It's like, it's fun. It's like I'm so like, I hate walking into the bagel place this morning in a mask and gloves and disinfecting my credit card after, but I do love the time we have to like do some fun stuff.
Totally. It gives us downtime to really focus and lean into like you're really discovering this whole new side of you and this whole new world of country, and such a huge market. I saw someone comment there. It is. It's how much of America is like country fans, right?
And Lil Nas X
So,
opened it up for people like me, that where like you have the number one song of all time and you're a gay black country singer. The least I could
yep,
do is be a gay white country singer and like put a cherry on top of that cake. So
I love it.
it's kind of fun, Sarah. Like, and I also I haven't put the TV hosting aside. I just know that the generic TV hosting fashion market is so oversaturated. And
Mhm.
even before I did the line and before I did the music, I was like, I would love to do country correspondent work for CMT or for CBS and do it with the country world. So what better than, do the line, get some street cred there. I have all the country stars' wives wearing it now. And then do the music, and then, make it to the CMA Awards on the red carpet and be the interviewer. So I feel like it all is going to
Yeah.
go full circle. And as you know, the I'm the jack of all trades and it constantly shifts. But this is a really fun trade to be hanging out in right now.
Totally. Do you think you'll move to Nashville?
I can't believe you're asking. I already looked at places.
Did you? It's so fun. And I mean,
it,
obviously, that's where the epicenter of all of this
mm-hmm.
is. Like, I'll connect you to all my girls there, and
uh,
I mean, you'll kill it.
yeah, I've also noticed, I was talking to my mom the other day, and I think it's important as an entrepreneur or someone who hopes to have that world one day for themselves, to really think about where your happiness is coming from mixed with where the money is. So if you work in finance, Wall Street might be calling you. But if I now have this line, literally like to name a few people who I have chills on my back because they know who I am and we correspond, and they have Daniel Diamond. We have like Kane Brown's wife, Caitlin Brown, just did a campaign with us because she wanted to. Ray Lynn, we are doing something with. Carly Pierce, we're doing something with. We just had Sabina Gadecki do something, Tyler Rich's wife, and all of these people are like coming out of the woodwork because they love the brand. And I'm now, through social media and through our Shopify setup as well, which I love, I can offer them their own coupon codes. I can give them a commission on the sales of whatever they bring to us. So we're all sort of making a little bit of money off of COVID and being at home. Yeah. Just by, you know, Caitlin telling Kane to go take a video of her outside in the backyard, which, you know, I'm like, I can't believe Kane Brown filmed the video of my Daniel. Like, it's just so fun. Right. Yeah, right. I'm like, that's the Insta husband, you know? So it's so cool to see how Shopify, you can do these coupon codes. And if anybody wants to know how we set up this social media world for ourselves, and, you know, in one day with Caitlin Brown, we got 2,000 followers off of having barely anything. So there's ways to do these things. And it's really just looking at your resources, figuring out who you're truly connected with, what cities the money's coming from, which if you have Instagram business, you can see what cities are following you most. And maybe you need to be in those cities doing this business. And that's why I'm trying to be, we can't call it bi-coastal, but we'll call it bi-country. I don't know. Like, what is it when you're LA and Nashville?
Exactly. And, you know, we are lucky to be, you know, we live in LA. We have a lot of different connections we've made over the years. But if you don't have a connection, what are some good tips to make them or meet people, or how do you introduce yourself? I can give some tips too, but if you want to go first.
So I feel like on Insta Live, if you're following conversations that mean something to what your future feels like for you, look at who's writing on there and follow all those people and DM them, because they're not only the ones who are following the person that you follow and you share that interest, but they're the ones doing something about it and they want to be seen and they want to be heard. So say that maybe someone pops up on this chat and we don't necessarily acknowledge them because we're in the middle of something and their comment gets lost, but someone else on the chat saw it and DM'd them and said, I saw your question. I'm interested in the same thing. Let's stay in touch. I feel like that's it's almost like meeting someone in fashion school and looking out for each other for 20 years. You're in this like community where everyone wants to learn and be better. So that's some advice on finding your tribe through social. But also when we're out of this, like, take a class in something, even if it feels like you sort of know it already, just to be around those people.
Yeah, that's good advice. So before I started Simply, I did PR for like 9 years, 9 years or 10 years. And it was so hard back then because that was like 2004, but that was like before, you know, any access. There was no LinkedIn, there was no Instagram, there was none of that. So we had to like physically sign up for Cision or like find these contacts and fax people. Like it was arc ages or what?
Yeah, archaic.
Archaic. Yes.
It was a little barbaric too sometimes.
Barbaric,
right?
Archaic, whatever. So now you can just go on LinkedIn and go on Instagram and literally DM the editor or DM a celebrity or DM anyone you want to get a hold of. You can find their contact information. It just takes maybe 5 minutes and just pitch them. Another tip is my favorite plugin that goes into Gmail. It's called Clearbit. Do you know about this? It's incredible. So it's like a Gmail add-on. And it essentially syncs to your contacts, but it also syncs to everyone else that has Clearbit. So you can type in any company and you'll get the full contact list of everyone in it.
Writing that down. Can someone write that in the notes so I can go back to this?
Clearbit. And it's free.
That's amazing.
It's like the best kept secret. Clearbit.
It's a little bit like Undercover Instagram. Casey Musgraves and her mom got jackets from us back on like New Year's Day. And Casey DM'd me directly to thank me for the jackets on Instagram. We had no Instagram correspondence, but the fact that she could just go, she sees the label in the jacket. She went on Instagram, searched Daniel Diamond, DM'd us to thank us for everything. And like, even that was so interesting for me, from like a Grammy winning album of the year artist with a shit ton of followers, is finding me in my line to thank us through Instagram, which you have to see that like you're also accessible. So if you have a product that's amazing and you're bringing something great to the table, these big people can also find you. And that's
Mm-hmm.
key as well. I think that's a big part where, and if we didn't have a squeaky clean Instagram with great images and a professional photo shoot, she maybe wouldn't have reached out because it would feel a little shoddy. But if you can have something where it looks like people want to be, in bed with you.
Mm-hmm.
I love that line.
Yeah.
Not in bed with anyone these days, though. But they want to be in bed with you. It's so easy to.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. It's yes, having a beautiful feed that people are attracted to, but
Mm-hmm.
also, yeah, it's being approachable. And that's huge that she DM'd you, like, and
No,
had this conversation.
I was walking on Fifth Avenue in New York, and my phone said, Spacey Casey wants to message you. And I literally was like, where's the nearest restroom? I might vomit. It was like if Britney Spears wrote me in 1999. I was like, this is
Yeah,
crazy.
or today.
Or today. I feel like today's a little more likely. But it was so cool. And it was so cool to see what Instagram did there. And also, if you don't follow Spacey Casey, her Instagram is a great example of properly branding yourself every day in a humble yet squeaky clean way. And I know her sister's a graphic designer and works with her on a lot of it, but you can see this like approachable yet like she makes fun of herself constantly in like a cool artistic way. She's just like, she's the best.
We've got to follow her.
Yeah, you got to follow
Okay.
Spacey Casey. She's a really good example of what you can do with apps like, has anyone used Canva? Do you know what canva.com is?
Yes.
Like free
I don't use it
Photoshop.
a lot, but I've heard of it. What's
Yeah,
it
I
do?
call it
Is
I
it
call it Frito Shop because it's like free Photoshop. You can do all your graphics. So if you look at the Daniel Musto brand and the Daniel Diamond line, and even the music, all graphics are done by me on Canva. And it looks like I
wow.
outsourced it to an agency. So Canva's really great as well if you have your own line and you want to make some graphics, whether it's an album cover. I do all of our email list graphics for when we want to promote, some sort of like we did a Gwen Stefani thing where you got 40% off for the day. So that email went out and it was all done on there. And it literally makes you look like a Seven for All Mankind or a Bloomingdale's
Wow.
and it kind of like, you can use a lot of templates where you just put your images in and utilize their font. And another huge thing that they do, if you lack that creative bone, is Canva gives you font combinations. So they'll take two fonts and put them together for a distribution list graphic or an album cover or whatever it could be, so that it's more eye-catching and you don't have to do all that creative nonsense yourself.
Okay. So is that in replace of like a MailChimp?
MailChimp does the email. I use MailChimp to send those emails, but any graphics that I make,
Create.
yeah, it's really cool. I mean, we can do a private chat if you really want me to. We could do a Zoom and I could teach you
Okay.
everything, but it's
I would
really
love
cool,
that.
especially for your team, the Simply team, the Nylon team. I feel like it's a really great resource, which is free to use. You can like upgrade for pennies and it's awesome.
That's cool. Another one, if anyone is looking for more tips, Planoly is an amazing tool for social media to plan out your feed.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so we use them all the time. We love Planoly because then you can kind of see what your feed's going to look like before you hit publish and get it all like nice and beautiful laid out. So you could use Canva and then put it in Planoly and then go live.
I love all our baby girls. Planoly, Canva, our social media girl, Maggie Sachs, is brilliant at combining different images together. And she has like mocked some things up, but I feel like when we hang up, she needs to know about Planoly.
And I'm doing a little live with them Friday at noon PST. So if anyone wants to join us.
Yeah, it'll be downpouring here Friday, and I will be watching.
Great. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So I love you so much. I haven't even asked one question on here, but I think we've hit a lot of them so far. So I want to jump to fun facts because I know you'll have fantastic answers for those.
Fun facts. Go.
So since this is simply work from home coffee break, how do you take your coffee or tea?
Okay. I switched up my coffee routine since I've been here. I love chameleon cold brew, vanilla, because it's unsweetened, but it still is vanilla. And I use monk fruit sweetener. Have you guys done this?
I've tried the monk fruit. It's good.
It's insane. And then I just add my barista oat milk to it. And that's how I like my little thing. And Teggy French and I are hooked. Like, we go to Whole Foods and we buy the entire shelf of chameleon cold brew.
Really?
Yeah, we're so obsessed with it. And it's to the point where like when it starts to go like dwindle down and we see someone like pouring one who's over at the house, we're like, you don't need a lot.
Yeah.
Highly concentrated.
That's so funny. I am like the one person I think on the planet that does not like the taste of coffee. So
Hmm.
I'm a tea drinker. So I just
Amazing.
do green tea, simple.
I
That's
love
it.
that. I like mixing tea bags. Like I love a green tea with a hibiscus bag next to it.
Oh,
Like I like, comboing. A little smooth move doesn't hurt sometimes. You just got to mix them all up in there, girl.
I love it. Okay, outfit details we kind of already did, but you've
Yeah, I
got your
mean, well, literally, like, we'll talk through the things that make Daniel Diamond Daniel Diamond. So it's the vintage jacket with the Daniel Diamond chain. But, like, my belt I found in Santee Alley, downtown LA, because there's a ton. The market of, like, the LA horseback riding world is there, and it's thriving in downtown LA, and you can get really good leather goods. I think
hmm
this belt was like $40, and it's a legit cowboy belt that you would find at a Western store for 150. So if you want to
Wow.
check that world out, that's an awesome way to get some of your country gear, especially when you're going to invest in an investment piece like Daniel Diamond. You don't need to spend a lot on the rest of the look.
Yeah. It
And
speaks for itself.
yes, it does, honey.
Um, okay, favorite social media platform.
I love Instagram.
Yeah.
But my followers love the idea of me TikToking.
I love that idea of you TikToking.
I've done Daniel Diamond on there a little bit, but I know I need to tap in more. And I've also, if you you could follow Dat Baby Daniel, it's the baby version of me with the baby filter.
I've seen that.
So like that's on Instagram, but I've been putting it on TikTok. It's just I feel ancient trying TikTok. Like I need
I
like a
know.
17-year-old intern to do it for me because
hmm
like it all is just moving so fast. I feel like I'm watching Japanese TV. Like there's so much happening and like
Yeah, I've been trying to play around with it, and like the one video that I'm like, this is gonna be amazing. It gets 0 views, but then the one that I like literally just threw a video up in 5 seconds that has like the most views. I
or
don't
like throw a
understand it.
dog in it and you're
Yeah,
famous.
totally.
My
So,
my stepsister yesterday was telling me how she finds all her Amazon finds on TikTok. I guess there's people if you do hashtag Amazon finds, all these influencers use TikTok to do cool things, and it's like face masks, blow dryers, diet stuff. Like the monk fruit sweetener could end up on there, and you could learn about all these things. So that's a fun
oh,
idea if you're bored one day and want to do a little shopping.
interesting. Yeah, I just started following Trader Joe's on TikTok, and I've got so many recipes that I can't wait to, yes.
I
It's like
love
Trader
that.
Joe's hacks.
I
That
would
one's
just love
good.
if Trader Joe's TikTok had the real Joe starring in it. Like I want to know who's Joe.
Yeah, that's a good
Like
idea.
who's who's Joe?
Who is Joe? Okay, share one fun fact or hidden talent that people might not know about you.
Okay. It usually only happens when I haven't done a lot of talking, so it might not work now. But since I'm a little kid and I stick out my tongue, it vibrates a little bit on its own. I don't even have to do anything.
What?
Should we try?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Wait, I'm so confused.
I know it's weird. It's going a little bit.
Is it,
I look
are
healthy
you,
though. That's good.
why
Yeah,
does it
it
do
like
that?
shakes. It's so weird. I like once was on a microphone at a TV. I was like in the audience of a TV show when I was 12, and they asked if anybody had any talents, and I didn't know that like what that could mean as an adult. And I was like, my tongue vibrates when I stick it out. The audience was wild.
It's always good
So
to have
that
in your back
happened.
pocket.
So you can DM me at Daniel Musto.
Okay, 3 personality traits that describe you. This is a very hard one. It took me an entire day to think of mine, but
I would say friendly, engaging, and driven.
hmm.
Driven might even be number one because if there's one thing that like nothing really gets in my way, like before Corona, during Corona, we were supposed to do a huge thing at Stagecoach and Coachella, and then before that, we had a huge like every country celebrity was supposed to come to my launch event in Nashville, and then 2 days earlier, the Nashville tornado tore through the exact part of town where we were supposed to have it. But like we're still going, and we're still
Yeah.
selling jackets, and we added shorts, and we added rhinestone masks to the collection since
Oh,
then, and
you
like
did?
Yeah, they layer over the ones that you have. So it's like a stretchy mesh rhinestone. So if you want to like add a little moment, you can. It's fun. It's a fun way to like
Very
switch
smart.
it up. Like if you're gonna meet some friends for a walk at night, it's kind of cute to have your little sparkle
I
on. Or if
mean,
you're doing
that's
TikTok.
going to be the new world, right? You are going to have to accessorize the mask. I just did a whole Forbes story on 6 fashion masks. That's why I was like,
Yeah.
wait, you did a mask? I would have included it. But yeah, because that's going to be the new kind of fashion statement.
Mm-hmm. No,
Sadly,
literally.
but
Taylin Biggs is on. You know Taylin, my little rock star muse. She's under 10. She represents my under 10s, and she wore Daniel Diamond to Fashion Week. And she's saying empath is one I forgot. So that's a personality trait too, where if there's any
yes.
empaths out there, let's chat, because it's a really interesting characteristic to have when you work in fashion, because there's a lot of ugly. We met so many years ago at a brunch, and we talked about the ugly in the fashion business. And we're not talking about ugly faces, we're talking about ugly souls. And to be an empath and take on that energy constantly is a tough one. It's tough.
Oh yeah, for sure. How did we meet, by the way?
The
What
BB brunch at the SLS hotel on the courtyard patio. I remember all of
Oh,
it. I've
who
seen, like, I
introduced
was
us?
looking back. I was looking back at the outfit I own. I was like, what were those weird bootcut jeans you wore with sneakers?
Were we introduced by Lisa Jamal? Is that how?
Yes, and then we were sat next to each other by chance at the BB brunch.
And
It was a
that
long
was
time
it.
ago. That was like
Rest in history.
6 years, 7 years. It's a long time.
Wow. Crazy.
We have Mary in here. We almost had everyone. My sister Noelle is in here. Oh, 50 Shades of Donna is my mom, y'all.
Of course, 50
That's the
Shades of
thing.
Donna.
Jess, there's like lots of familiar faces. We have David in here. Hi, everybody. Buddha Bang. Jenny Morant. Hi, Jenny. I don't want to miss all these fun people. Donald's in here. We're having a party.
I love it.
It's like a party.
So, okay, where are we? Oh, do you have a life mantra?
A life mantra is to keep on trucking. I get real country sometimes, and my mantra through my head is keep on trucking.
Yep.
If something knocks you down
be...
and if you're overwhelmed by something, the only way to come down from it is to be alone for a bit, really line your ducks up, figure out what's important. And my friend, speaking of keep on trucking, when you're like trying to envision how things aren't as bad as they feel in the moment, my friend Emily just said, picture where you are right now, whatever place you're in, as Google Maps, and zoom out. It's all so small. You know, it's not that big of a deal. On our peripheral, it seems so big, but if you really look down at where we are, and slowly go out. Think of your immediate neighbors right there, what they're going through, then go a little farther, then maybe parts of the neighborhood that aren't so good and you don't know what's going on, and it's all okay.
Yeah.
Have a good
It's kind of like my life mantra is don't sweat the small stuff, because it's kind of the same thing. It's like, this will pass. This is a small blip on the radar. We're both kind of similar, where we're very driven and we will find a way, and we're not just going to lay back and take the punches. So,
and even the big stuff gets smaller with time. Remember that. So if you're not sweating the small stuff, you don't have to sweat the big stuff either, because the farther you get from it, the smaller it gets. You're walking away from it at different paces every day. And, you know, there's so many things, you know, so many things can happen. Like a tornado could rip through where you're going to throw an event.
Coronavirus could happen.
Coronavirus could happen.
Stuck in home for 7 weeks.
It really is crazy. Like, I know every Insta Live that I watch, I'm like, can you guys stop talking about it? But it really is nuts. Like yesterday, I got an antibody test at someone's house, but we're like, last time I was there was for Christmas dinner, and here I am back, and I'm in a mask at a table pricking, like, I'm like, what? How is this where we are? And like the people I'm with, who would have ever thought?
Yeah.
But you got to, you know, stay healthy.
Stay healthy. And I think there are going to be a lot of the what?
Wash your damn hands. I'm like, I'm a crazy hand washer anyway, but like, if that's all we have to do,
I know.
Get it.
I know. And it's like, I think as horrible as this is, there are going to be a lot of silver linings after we come out of it. Yeah.
I think we're going to know a lot more about ourselves.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people will discover their passion. It'll really drive them to either leave their job or start a new job or create a new business, or I don't know. I think it's given people time to really find who they are inside and get off the hamster wheel that everyone is on constantly, and discover like what's important in life, where you want to be, who you want to be with. So in that
I
sense, I
feel
think
like
that's good.
as much as new endeavors will happen for people, I also think people like taking a demotion to actually like enjoy themselves is going to happen a lot too. So instead of like chasing after things that aren't happening for you, you might decide, let me do something a little more normal. And because of Corona, I don't think anyone's going to frown on you for
Right.
taking a job that you need to just sort of clean up what's been lost these past few weeks. So
Yeah, I just saw an
we believe
article
in you.
today. I just saw an article today. 33% of renters in Los Angeles are looking to move to other cities because of how crazy expensive it is. And like there's no value for that dollar amount. So they're all going to like Phoenix, Vegas, one other city. Crazy, 33%.
There's a there's a realtor in New Jersey who takes care of a lot of people like shifting out of New York into New Jersey. And he said that my new single, Come Out to the Country, is going to be his theme song for work. Because he's like, come on out.
Yeah,
If this ever happens again, you're going to want to live in the country. You're not going to want to be on top of each other in New York. So I
yeah,
think
it's
it's going to be
true.
happening a lot.
And now we know that we can work from home. We know we can do so much not
Mm-hmm.
being like in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be so easy to commute in or, remote access anywhere. So we'll see how this works. Um, okay. Do you have a pet peeve?
When people with ugly feet wear open-toed shoes, I'm like, you
Yeah.
just ruined that. You ruined it all. You ruined like that bothers me a lot. Or when people who like work in beauty have like the weird long hair on their face. I'm like, get up close. Think about it. We got
Yeah.
to see it too, you know?
Yeah.
So, but like the ugly feet
Yeah.
open toed shoe thing, I'm like, no, no, no. There's a lot of closed toed shoes out there you could wear. If you're going to choose them, you
That are
got to clean
beautiful.
things out.
Right.
That's it.
Exactly.
You know, I always have a
Um,
weird answer to that question.
are you a texter or a caller?
I'm a voice noter. I like
Oh,
to hear my inflection, but I don't like to feel like I'm inconveniencing people with having to get them on the line. So I like to leave voice notes, especially when I have to really relay something. And also because like my hands start to hurt. You know?
that's a great one because sometimes the tips or the tips, the text comes off, you don't know what the
Uh-huh.
inflection is, how they mean it.
Yeah.
I like that. I might have
Yeah, a
to
little
steal that
voice note.
one.
I even do it in business. Like if I want to properly thank somebody for something who I've been texting with, say I'm texting with a big star who's going to wear Daniel Diamond and they do, I'd rather send them a voice note, like kind of freaking out and having a fangirl moment to lighten up
Yes,
their day because it'll definitely stand out.
that's great. I like that. And final question, where is the
Yep.
first place you will be getting on a plane
Mhm.
after all of this ends?
I'm going to go to Nashville.
Oh
I
yeah.
have to. I have to.
Yes.
Just to
Have
like
you been there
be out in
before?
Tennessee. Yeah, a ton. I've
Okay.
been to the most I've gone for work. I go to Nashville and Japan or Tokyo. So like those two cities I go to a lot. So I'm familiar, but I do want to like spend a proper month there and see what happens. If there's any
Love it.
Nashvillians on here, please DM me. I want recommendations and friends and ideas and all that.
Fun. Awesome. Well, this just made my morning. I
Me
love
too.
you. Thank you so much for joining us today. And
Always.
how can people find you?
Fine. Why don't you find the line? Daniel X Diamond is the Instagram, and we can hang out on there. And it's all connected, and there's always fun, fringe moments. We just had Sam Smith wear a jacket, so we have that on there. Lots of boomerangable moments. So it's not just a celebration of our line, but it's a celebration of all things fringe and country. So yeah,
Love. Thank you, Daniel.
love
Hope
you.
I see you soon.
Of course, sooner than later. Mwah.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.